Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I want to talk about emotionalized thought forms and why emotionalized thought forms are the reason why you must experience pain in order to wake up. See, the thoughts that we have that do not serve us, most of the time it's subconscious. We don't even acknowledge or realize how anxious that we've become or that we are being. And the reason for that is because we're not entirely conscious of our pain. We're not willing to experience our pain fully because we've never been taught how to do this. And so the bypass is something that is adopted a lot in our society. And what the bypass is our idea of thinking our way through to becoming our authentic self. Thinking our way logically. And the truth is that you can't do that. You can, but it just won't work because at the end of the day, when your fears get activated, all of that goes out the window because we're not operating at the level of conscious thought anymore. So then the work now becomes getting into your subconscious body and being able to make contact with the subconscious fears that you have running around in your field. And subconscious fears, emotionalized thought forms, right? So let's say it's a belief that you have. I don't like being looked at bad, right? So let's say that's one, and you don't like people looking at you that way. Well, if you've been thinking of that for a long time, you're going to have some energy around that. You're going to have some energy around that thought form. And that energy over time is going to amplify that thought form, creating a belief. So the idea is being able to get into that energy and start reframing it. But you have to be in the energy. You have to be in the actual fear-based emotions in order to change them. And this is a step-by-step process. It is a chipping away. It is not, and all of a sudden, I'm not going to be negative anymore. So you can think of it as this. You can think of it as, your soul and your ego, but it's also like there's this ball of negative energy that is lurking in our field. And you can verify this by how authentic you are, how close you feel that you're your true self. Now, I know everybody thinks they're a lot further along than they really are, but just look at I have a bird that just landed in my living room. And he's just like going around eating weird things on my dirty floor, apparently. So the ball of negative energy, we can verify this as in how impactful are we in our life, right? How influential are we in our day-to-day lives? How much change are we making simply by being who we are? And if that's not actually happening on a day-to-day basis, on a moment-to-moment type of thing in your daily life, then chances are you're not as close as you might think you are in being your full authentic self. And the reason is because there's still a lot of work that we need to do in clearing out this negative energy that we're holding on to subconsciously. And so what the bypass is thinking that we don't have to experience this pain in order to wake up. And there's a difference between you getting activated and something, quote unquote, hurting your feelings versus actually clearing that out when it happens, learning from the emotion, not learning just from the situation what the lesson is, but actually making contact with that part of you and loving and accepting it for what it is and lifting it up. It's a whole nother ballgame. So emotionalized thought forms, it's a process to wake up. It's a painful process to waking up because you're constantly chipping away at this part of you that is holding on to all of this negativity. So when it comes to just being present or just thinking your way through, unless you're consistently experiencing pain and knowingly lifting that up, not just letting it move through you and venting. I'm not talking about that. I mean connecting with it, making a dialogue, and growing it, raising it up. That's how you know when you're making progress. And the title of this video about bypassing is that's why you have to experience pain, because it's an emotionalized thought form. It's an amplified thought form. And bypass is thinking that you don't have to do that, living in la la land. So if you want to learn how to crash land into what's really going on for you and get really honest with your life and who you are and where you're at, and more specifically, get honest with this part of you that probably isn't too positive, you know how to reach me.